before one of the governments there in Canada, confronting the establishment, bringing up the fact that most terrorism is government-sponsored, and pointing out that a very suspicious company in and around the 7/7 bombings in London was there taking over some of the subway systems in Canada. So that's coming up. But the reason he's on today with us is elitist confab, or meeting in Montreal, adapting to a new world order. Now, that's the name of the conference. They have sub-conferences called global governance. Governance means government. And they always play these childlike semantic games with the public. They go, we don't want global government, we want global governance, which means the exact same thing. The system of government is governance. It's a global system of government. And they have these private meetings that nexus in with the governmental Security Prosperity Partnership meeting. When people last year tried to protest the North American Union meeting in secret, the police came out dressed up like anarchists, attacked other police on camera so that the police could then attack peaceful demonstrators. But smart camera people followed the cops when they staged the arrest of them, posing as anarchists, and showed them taking the stuff off. And the police had to admit later, the Royal Mounted Police, that they had staged attacks on their own officers as a pretext to attack the citizenry. That's because the Royal Mounted Police are now an alien group to Canada. They work for offshore banks. They're banning free speech in Canada, destroying liberty. They've arrested me when I go to Canada. Canada is an outrageous police state with a velvet glove on the steel fist. And so we are joined by Sam Labrier, and we appreciate you coming on. Sam, tell us specifically where you hail from, Montreal 9/11 Truth, and break it down for folks.
Well, thanks very much, Alex. Yeah, I'm from Montreal, Quebec. I'm a member of the Montreal 9/11 Truth Group. And as you said, we saw that there was a conference being held here in Montreal this week called Moving Towards a New World Order, which was quite an eye-opener when we saw that. So, of course, we had to cover it to find out as much as we could about it.
And it turns out it's the top lineup of Bilderberg Group meeting.
Yeah, IMF, World Bank, I mean, you name it. And right now, I don't know what picture you have up on Prison Plan TV, if it's the one that I sent you of me in front of the line of police.
Yes, that's what's
here
up.
Yesterday. But actually today it's really raining hard here in Montreal, and there is no one here, including the police. So I was actually able to walk right in. I'm actually inside the hotel, steps away from where the meeting is taking place.
Amazing. We're going to break down what's happening at this meeting and how it affects Mexicans, Canadians, and people in the United States, because this group is mentioned in the SPP documents that Judicial Watch and others sued and got 2 years ago. We have in my film Endgame, and they're openly admitting it's a North American Union, that they're taking city, county, state rights away. So we're not just losing states' rights in Canada or the U.S., it's now being totally transferred outside the nation to these supranational boards, just like our trade is ruled not by our own governments, but by the World Trade Organization.
Right, NAFTA, World Trade Organization, all kinds of extra governmental agencies, yeah.
Well, Sam Labrier, stay there. We're going to come right back to you and break down the documents you've gotten from this conference, which is really just a public Bilderberg Group meeting. It's not open to the public, but it's more open to the media as they openly push world government. Stay with us. And I see so many comments online saying, they don't know what Bilderberg's talking about. They don't know they want world government. What do you mean? It's all admitted. This is Alan.
Monsieur, bonsoir. Et votre question, si je m'abuse, ça laisse à Monsieur Dauphin.
My question is for Mr. Dauphin, yes.
Je vous écoute, monsieur.
I'm here tonight to address Monsieur Dauphin's involvement in the signing of the contract in 2004 with Verint, who is providing the security cameras and the installation in our metro. A few months ago, there was a group of my colleagues who came to this chamber to ask Mr. Dauphin about this subject, which he feigned ignorance about, saying he had no idea what we were talking about, what contract we were talking about, what company we're talking about, even though we have him in press releases describing the wonders that Verint security systems will bring to Montreal. So I'm not here tonight to ask Mr. Dauphin why he has given this company, which has extensive ties to CIA, Mossad, and MI6, this contract to our city, because it is quite apparent he does not want to answer that question. I'm only here tonight to express my concern as a citizen and as someone who takes the metro every day, to inform all of you that there are many of us in this city who know the truth about what happened on September 11th, what happened in London on 7/7, and that you had better make sure that nothing happens to our city, because if an attack happens in the metro and you try and blame it on Al-Qaeda or Iran or whatever they're going to try and blame it on, we will not believe you. And that is the only reason I came here tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Bonsoir, Monsieur Labrier. We had the occasion, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, to answer some question like the one we're having tonight. My colleague, Claude Trudel, the president of the MTC, Montreal Transit Corporation, had the opportunity to answer these questions. What I remember about this question is that we had been in public tender in 2004, and it's a company that won the public tender. So I'm not aware personally, Mr. Speaker, exactly which company got it, which other company didn't get it, but I know that all the rules were followed, and we had been in public tenders, and there was a selection committee with a jury, and it's the best company in my knowledge that got the contract. But otherwise, I have no memory about exactly what happened, if it wasn't a good company or the best company. I know that we had been in public tender, and the company won.
Monsieur Dauphin, thank you, Monsieur Dauphin. Do you have another short question?
No, I would just like to clarify that I am not accusing anyone here of complicity in any sort of conspiracy or what have you. I simply want to make known that there are thousands of citizens in Montreal, that if there is an attack, that we will not believe the stories that you give us. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Sam Labrier joining us from 9/11 Montreal Truth. And they've confronted members of the parliament. They've confronted the former prime ministers. They've confronted the city councils, bringing this up. And you have to understand, with 7/7, we know the government carried out the attacks. And I've made the film Terror Storm detailing that. That's even more clear-cut than 9/11, which is also very easily proven. But with 7/7, we have a lot of specifics. That's why they've quietly had to turn loose all the people they claim were involved in supporting the plot. They were really just government agents, people that were being recruited into intelligence, asked to take part in the drill, and then they blew them up on board the trains and buses. That's why Visor Consultancy for the government in the metro was running a drill of the exact same bus and exact same trains, subways, being bombed at the exact same time and date in London. Impossible. Same thing on 9/11. They had the exact same drills, exact same time. USA Today, Associated Press, same buildings being attacked. That way, if good people in government that are compartmentalized and aren't part of the small group carrying out the attack, that way, if the bad guys get caught by the good guys, they can say, oh, that was just part of a drill. And they'll even come out and admit they were doing these drills a lot of times just to throw it in everybody's face and say, well, we admit we were doing the drill. How unusual. But the fact that the gentleman we have on the line with us went down there and confronted them, Sam Labrier, the fact that he did that preempts what they're doing. Because I remember at the time being on air, they were already saying in Montreal News, we think Al-Qaeda is going to hit the subway. We're pretty sure we're going to have a 7/7 here. And then they had that stage capture of people that were planning it and all the rest of it. And turned out that was fake, just like the thing 2 weeks ago with the black guys in New York and New Jersey who had no intention of bombing anything. The FBI created the group, tried to get them to carry out terror. They weren't even Muslims, just like Miami in 96. Same story. Sam, well, we can ask him now, saw this threat, went down and preemptively said, don't try that here. I mean, is that what you did? Is that why you went ahead and went down and talked to him, sir?
Well, before we get into that, didn't I see a few days ago on your website that there was an explosion in North Carolina that they blamed on a drill?